Okay, so I know we started this, and I know what we planned on doing. So I gave this one more thought, and I was like, if I had any reservations about doing something like this at one point, it would be that the sword and board, although the two-handers technically the same way, unless you do the whole... I mean, you could do the whole DLC thing anyway and just have it. And then have it for really just one particular fight. So you can be stuck in the Fade by yourself. There's really no way to get any kind of haste. Or honestly, it's early enough in the game where I don't know how much difference it makes regardless. I mean, momentum's good for a rogue, but you know, you're pretty damn squishy too, right? So anyway, just thinking.
My lady, are you
when we get to the circle, the circle is what it is when you're in the Fade by yourself. After that, hoping we have haste on one mage and mana clash on another. At least have it at least close. Even if we don't have haste, at least have mana clash or whatever. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
We have been charged with the task of escorting you to the proving ground.
That was the only kind of downside, but there's even a way to get around that.
Informed you sooner.
You just go
decided you were not to travel through
the Warden's Keep and just not really use it. It'd be kind of irrelevant. Now you could totally go do the Warden's Keep with sword and board, and then you wouldn't have to have double haste. But I like the idea of double haste for everybody. Like, dude, you just move so fast. it's just extra cool. It's almost like cool enough to where you just want to do it once just because, right? So like the whole Warden's Keep personal like Reaver blood magic haste thing. I forget what the actual skill is called, but it's basically haste. And then you get haste, so everybody in the party gets haste. You, Alistair, Liliana, everybody's got haste, and you've got double haste. That's cool. Here it'll just be me and Liliana, but we'll both have double haste. And we'll always have haste as long as one mage is alive. Now, if both mages goes down, everything slows down miraculously, and yeah, then, I don't know. I mean, if it goes that badly, you're probably wiped anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
I did mention the
just thoughts that I had, but I'm like, it doesn't really change anything.
Diamond Quarter. There were only so many permits auctioned off, and quite a few were turned away. Your father fears you will be harassed on the way to the proving.
Will we be leaving then? We are at your command.
Your Highness, it is an honor to have you here.
A bunch of sword and boards in the deep roads when we do that.
Warriors do battle in your honor.
No, I can't. I came to.
Your Highness.
Came to do my own honor.
Proving is in your honor.
I came to honor them, letting me beat him upside the head.
Lady Idukan will fight in this proving.
Of course, it is well within your rights. Men and women of Orzammar,
I'm kind of curious. Has it ever been done before, though?
Provings, held on the eve of battle for the honor of House Idukan.
This is one time where I kind of wonder.
I give you
if
the
a
Lady
commoner
Idukan herself.
Origin might be kind of cool. It's less money,
for your first match?
But hey, what's up, man? Yeah, we started last night because once we find out the double haste actually works, like haste actually like fully stacks, movement speed, all that. Once we found out it actually like it gives you that 50% cap, that perfect cap, and
let us begin.
I like we gotta try this now because this makes sword and board viable.
Fought under the watchful eyes of the paragons of Orzammar.
I've always wanted to play it a certain way. The only downside is we're gonna have like
House Idukan.
We're gonna have like no constitution.
Lady Idukan
probably want to give Life Giver to
Bimo, youngest son of Lord Bimo.
It's Morgan, too.
You honor me with
That's,
this match.
that's kind of the shitty part. I'll honor you upside the head. Or Bimo. Actually, I think the Bimos are actually kind of cool. I mean, well, at least they're not really bad, so.
First warrior to fall is vanquished. Fight!
Got it. Now's better than later. It's a good day to die. On your guard, Rick! Just call me the Reaper.
Here's if you can get a backstab.
All right, all right. Yeah!
I don't know. I mean, there should be a flanking bonus.
The winner is Lady Idukan.
Can you imagine if that had double haste? It'd be like bam, 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 bam. You're just slinging shit, doing little pommel strikes with your shield and shit at 100 miles an hour. Dude, even if this isn't awesome, it's still got to be fun. It's got to be fun at least for a while. I don't know. Do we play through it? Do we get tired of it? Do we say, this is kind of overrated or whatever? Fine, but it's got to at least be fun for a little bit, right? Hold on, I'll be back. Anyway. So, I don't know, regardless. I just never really had done this before. And before I was like, if I wanted to tank, well, I kind of need to do this, but that kind of takes away from, I mean, I don't know. Just defense was never my thing, but I think defense is something that I don't have to manufacture for myself. It kind of just comes with the territory. Like shield skills, just kind of really just throw that in there. Now, when it comes to pure like defense, in terms of like getting picked up by a dragon and getting chewed up, that's going to be a problem. Maybe getting picked up by an ogre or getting picked up by whatever. It's possible keeping gear that does favor defense. You know, I think the elemental stuff is the most important overall. But there's plenty of stuff. Like there's the amulet. Really good resistance. There's the Templar outfits. That's really good. There's also a couple other armor sets that are actually really nice. And I'm not even talking DLC stuff, so.
That
anyway.
was quite a fight.
Yeah, so what I was thinking is, there's only one or two times. When you're in the Fade, there's really nothing you can do about it. When you fight Logain, if you fight him by yourself, it's kind of like the honorable thing to do. I don't think that thing deserves any honor. I think just beat his ass, to be honest, but whatever. I think it comes down to a duel one way or the other. Regardless, that's the one time where you don't have the buffs of your party and stuff. And when you're in the Fade, too. But when you're in the Fade, I mean, at that point, you really don't have a lot anyway. I do it pretty early. So, it's possible to go do the Warden's Keep and get that Blood Mage ability as a backup for like self-appointed haste, you know? And I think a little bonus damage. It really goes good with the Reaver tree. One problem is the Reaver tree's cool, but the Berserker tree is just straight up damage. It's just a damage buff. With a health regen. No. Yeah, I think with like a health regen nerf. but then you get a health regen buff from like the Reaver tree, which kind of like, so I mean, Reaver Berserker like just really go together. Trying to use the Templar for an extra thing, but there is an AoE damage ability with the Templar that's actually pretty significant, and it acts like a taunt, and it acts like you know, like a knockdown or stun, which opens up backstabs for Leliana. It's like, I don't know, a couple different ways to go. Templar Reaver sounded really, really good, but then I remember Berserker Reaver's still just all about damage. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Excellent. Let us go. This is a glory proving, fought under the watchful eyes of the paragons of Orzammar, for the honor of House Idukan.
Might be fun to play sword and board through all 3 games. If this goes well and it's fun, it's even funner in Dragon Age 2 sometimes. And then in Inquisition, it's like the most fun thing you can do in Inquisition, in my opinion.
Follow your example and live by the sword.
First warrior to fall is vanquished. Fight!
Can I get you a ladder so you can get off my back? Can I get you a ladder so you can get off my back?
Can I hit her?
Got it. You're in a little over your head. Let me see some blood. You'll get no mercy from me. Run while you still can. Just call me the Reaper.
Gonna have a problem with rogues, apparently.
All right.
So I don't think there's any...
The winner is Lady Idukan.
See, Reaver is kind of the one I'm thinking. But I don't know. The cool thing is when it comes time to choose, like you can take a good look at what all 4 have to offer, right? Like, I mean, the, what is it? Holy Smite or whatever, which you're going to get later, but that's basically like an extra taunt. And it can do damage too. I think it's damage based on your magic stat, which I'm not going to have one. So it's still going to be relatively irrelevant. But still, I mean, it's something. Reaver Berserker is what I always do, to be honest. But in this case, I mean, I don't know that taunting that much is all that really relevant anyway. Because, essentially, if I'm playing my main character, remember, you always draw all the threat. The only thing you have to really pull threat from is your mages, for the most part. Right? So having taunt as something we can cast to basically pull stuff back to ourselves, it's creating an AoE, which is something the Templar can do. Berserker really doesn't have that. The two-hander does, obviously, but I'm not playing a two-hander, so having some kind of AoE where then when you do get completely surrounded, you can at least disperse, which the Templars do.
Is your next opponent. Are you ready to
And champions do with Warcry too. Same thing. It doesn't really do any damage. It's just a knockdown. But I think Holy Smite is like a straight-on stun and damage dealer. So I would totally take that. So I'm thinking Templar. And Berserker's just straight. I mean, it's a nerf. It's a nerf, but it's just a straight-on damage buff. I mean, it's just straight damage buff. It's like a percentage damage. It's kind of like Spell Wisp is to Mage, basically. It just nerfs your stamina regen, but then I think you can get that back. Like, it takes that away with a passive later on. And you like, something else or something. Anyway, that's what I'm thinking. Initially, I was thinking really just Reaver. Reaver Templar. It's kind of sounded like kind of a cool. But I mean, Berserk should too. Berserk should too. And if you add both of them, cool. But then no AoEs. All you're really doing is you're just increasing the effectiveness of your basic attacks. That's really all you're doing. And you're taking penalties and you're trying to nullify those penalties for some small bonus, you know. I mean, that's cool. I just think having an extra ability, having an AoE ability as a sword and board, you want something that you can do a little pop with. You know, like with two-hander you can do two-handed sweep. So that's kind of an AoE. With a rogue, you can do dual weapons sweep, which is something, and you can do whirlwind, right? And I guess if you get into Awakening, you can do some kind. There's kind of a whirlwind thing too, which it's kind of janky, but whatever. You know, I'm not even looking to that. I'm just just talking base game. So the Templar brings in like a damage dealing, stun, combo creating effect that you can do. And I think like when surrounded, being able to just go off. That's what you see the Templars do when you fight them, and it's really, really effective. And it does do damage too, so.
Then let us begin. This is
So, yeah,
a glory
do I start with Templar?
fought under the watchful eyes of the Paragons of Orzammar.
Probably.
For the honor of House Iduken.
I don't think I go Templar champion.
Lady
I mean, that's pretty tanky, I'm not gonna lie. And rallies a pretty good buff to keep. But I think I'm gonna be pretty ability oriented. I'm gonna be doing a lot of stuff. Like there's 2 or 3 shield abilities and what? Holy Smite and Taunt, and I gotta figure out how to incorporate all that shit in the first place. So there's that too. I'll make you eat those words, motherfucker.
To fall is
Okay, you gonna start the fight talking shit? I'd be a pussy if I didn't talk shit back to you.
Can I get you a ladder so you can get off my back?
He's got Indomitable.
Right, come on! Die already! Now's better than later. Got it.
And then I missed 2 or 3 times in a row.
The winner is Lady Iduken.
Yeah, the secret with sword and board, like the dual wielding has its obvious advantage. Two-hander has its advantage. The advantage in the sword and board tree is actually your shield. Like your damage dealer is really your shield, and it's also your defense. Like dual daggers, you don't have any like defensive thing. It's your dex, which is your defense. So you add dex to a shield, and it's not only your defense, but it becomes like your best weapon too. It's essentially better than a dagger once you get all the good stuff.
Well done. You have proven that even the best of the warrior caste cannot match a noble Iduken. Franlin Ivo is your final opponent. He too has had many victories today.
He's of the noble caste as well.
Or will you rest first?
New thoughts on the dagger and shield? No, because the damage. Okay, so outside of buffing it with dex, but not getting the same benefit from dex that a rogue gets, and daggers by default penalize you in strength 25%. They penalize you 25% as opposed to an axe, which is what I would use. I would use a Vestial, which is a 10% buff to strength, which is damage and attack. Right? Daggers give you a little bit of built-in armor penetration, which the Vestial has, So yeah, it doesn't really matter. Because they're a piercing weapon. But there's something that a rogue benefits from that a warrior doesn't benefit from. With a dagger as well. Plus, it removes... So, I mean, you can make a warrior with, like, minimum strength and then, like, maximum dex type thing and make the dagger feasible, but, like, the base damage of the dagger and the damage of the full-sized strength weapon, the full-size strength weapon with a large strength buff, because the dagger isn't buffed by dex. Your damage still goes up with dex somewhat, right? And your attack still goes up. But your damage and your attack go up exponentially more with a single-handed weapon. Like so like let's say the minimum strength I needed to equip everything I needed was let's just say like 40 something, probably 42, 46. Let's just say 50. Let's say I had like 50 strength, and then I had whatever points left over to make 50 dex. And so I could slowly increase the damage of my dex weapon, which is already nerfed, and actually what sword does he use? What sword does he use? A sword doesn't give you any strength buff at all. If he's using a sword, I don't care about the comparison. Because the comparison's bad. Remember the axe? The axe buffs your strength, which means your strength, your attack and your damage based on your strength stat by 10%. And it's already a stronger weapon right out the chute. So if you're gonna test with a dex-based character, a dagger versus a substandard fucking weapon, that's not a legit comparison. That doesn't work. Now I know he's got the Rose's Thorn, which is the best dagger in the base game, and then he's probably using just whatever sword, maybe Starfang or something like that. Who gives a fuck? That does not buff your strength. A dagger nerfs your strength, and if you've dumped everything into dex, yeah, it's going to be preferable if you're using a sword that does not buff your strength, which also nerfs your strength, and is a subpar weapon. Use the best version of a dagger versus a subpar version of a one-handed weapon. How is that a fair comparison? The Vestial buffs your strength, your actual strength number. So if your strength is sitting at around 70, 80, or if it's sitting at 70, it would be sitting at 77. If it's sitting at 80, it'd be sitting at 88. Based on the Vestial. Just that alone. And the damage that goes with it. The base root damage that goes with it. Not counting that the Vestial has all the dagger components of armor penetration, critical chance, and whatever. Let's not get started if you had 2 Vestials. But anyway, so we're talking the sword and board or dagger and board. Don't tell me he took the best dagger and a subpar sword that doesn't buff your strength at all and put a whole bunch of points into dex to skew the comparison. I'm not convinced. I believe that's what he did. And that's what he did. Sorry, man. Doesn't fly with me. The better thing is better in every way against the thing that's not good in any way. That's not a good scientific, that's not good theory testing. I'm not saying he did it on purpose. I'm just saying that's not legit. Certain weapons amplify certain stats. If your primary thing is strength and you have no dex, that's why when I do a rogue, I do dex. Why? Because there is no strength bonus with daggers. They nerf your strength by 15%. Okay, well, I'm not doing sword and board. I'm doing axe and board is what I'm going to be doing. Because the Vestial, kind of like the Maul, which I think gives a, shit, it's a 1.25 or 1.15 or something, strength bonus. The what is it? The Chassin Maul or whatever it's called. You know, the one that Brorim sells in Denerim after you've done a couple main story quests? That big two-handed hammer with like 3 rune slots and like plus 75 stamina and like, you know, extra like 5 armor penetration, and there's just this gangster ass hammer. The Vestial is like kind of the small version of that. But the thing that it does is the strength modifier is 1.1. Meaning it adds 10% to your strength, damage and attack, just by equipping it. What a dagger does, it reduces your strength by 15%. So that's a 25% nerf compared to the Vestial. So show me that exact same fight with the exact same circumstances in the exact same numbers, and show me a strength warrior with the Vestial and the exact same getup. Everything else, same rings, same armor, same shield, same shit. And then show me the Dex version of the sword and board with the Rose's Thorn, which is the best dagger you're going to find in the base game, and all the same shit. So, but you're heavily invested into Dex. You're probably going to be hit less. Okay, I get that, but that's not the point. You're talking about best in every way. That's not a fair comparison. You can't just switch stuff that you haven't spec'd into and say, well, this sucks because I'm not spec'd into it and I'm using some bullshit anyway, but I'm going to show you the best version of this that I'm completely spec'd into. You got to completely spec into one thing and then create another character and completely spec in, or respec, like, you know, use a PC mod or something, because he never plays on console, but that's fine. You can play on PC. I'm not knocking that. And then completely spec into Dex and then show me a comparison. And I'd almost be willing to bet you the Vestial, geared towards strength, the exact same way you're gearing towards Dex with a dagger, the Vestial geared towards strength, you're going to do more damage. I'd almost be willing to bet. Because it's a 25% turnaround in buff, just from the weapon itself. Yeah, the dagger's a little faster, but the Vestial is hitting 25% harder with all the extra shit. So, I don't know, man. Those are essentially your 2 best weapons. There's your best 2-handed weapon. You could arguably say the best staff is the staff of the Magister Lord. So the best 2-handed weapon is that hammer that Brorim sells. The best staff is staff of the Magister Lord, arguably. The best dagger is the Rose's Thorn, and the best one-handed weapon is the Vestial. It's certainly the most expensive. And statistically, it's better in every single way for a one-handed weapon. But if you got something that buffs your strength and you just buff Dex, and you say, well, this is my Dex character that's misusing a strength weapon, so the strength weapon is bad. That's not right. This is my character that's spec'd into strength using the Vestial, which gives a strength buff. This is my character spec'd into Dex, which is using a dagger instead of a one-handed weapon. But I'm spec'd into Dex because the dagger has a strength nerf on it. It's a 15% nerf on all strength attributes. So if your strength gives your dagger this much stats, you got to reduce that by 15% by your strength stat. So you got to show me 2 completely different characters spec'd 2 completely different ways with all the same gear except for the weapon, and then being, according to their attributes, spec'd equally into that weapon. In one, you're going to have minimum strength, max dex for a dagger. The other one, you're going to have minimum dex and max strength for your axe. Show me those 2 characters with all the rest of the same gear, same I'm gonna fucking say this again. It's impossible that you didn't understand this, but I'm sure this is gonna be as annoying to you as it is to me for me to have to repeat this. The same shield, same armor, exact same rings, exact same belts, exact same gear. Maybe some rings that benefit dex with the dagger, and maybe some rings that just benefit strength or something with the axe. But outside of that, the exact same gear, exact same setup, exact same level, and go do the same thing and show me a strength-based character with enough dex for the shield, and show me what it does with this Sir Cothran, even though she's a she. And then show me the dex-based character who has attributes for the dagger instead of attributes for a strength weapon. If I've got attributes for a dagger and I use a strength weapon and I use a shit strength weapon to prove my point, then yeah, I'm not proving any points. I'm not making a good example. I'm trying to blow up the dagger based on false pretenses because that's not a good comparison. Please tell me you understand that. I mean, I'll go look, and maybe he's using the Vestial, and he goes and shows his stats, and it's a completely different character, and he's got a strength-based character, and all this and that, and maybe he does just that. If I bet my house, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't lose my house to go find out that that's not what he does, but whatever. Well, you keep saying sword, so if he's using a sword, then what the fuck is the comparison anyway? The Rose's Thorn is a dagger, and then you have every other dagger. The Vestial is a one-handed weapon, and then you got everything else. So, I don't know, man. I guess I just have to go look at it. I've spent way too much fucking time on the stream just now, even talking about this, actually, at this point. Now that I think about it.
Of course. This is a glory-proving, fought under the watchful eyes of the Paragons of Orzammar, for the honor of House Iduken. It is down to just 2 warriors, with backbones of stone.
To be honest, he's using a PC with 327 hotkeys across the bottom, so it's hard to take that seriously anyway, but
Lady Iduken
whatever.
Will fight Brandlin Ivo.
I really don't believe he uses 2 completely different, but maybe he does. Maybe he does. Optimized builds for a strength weapon, optimized builds for, but if you're not using an axe as a strength weapon, or I believe a hammer even has some armor, a mace even has some armor penetration. Maybe even a little bit more. But I don't think it has a strength modifier. Axes have a strength modifier, which means that your strength damage is increased. And attack, your strength, attack, and damage is increased. Just because of the weapon. Just like a dagger enhances your critical chance, really. And your speed a little bit. A mace will enhance your armor penetration. But it's like your critical chance is much, much lower. And your axe is kind of in the middle. You get more armor penetration, a little more crit chance, and the damage is more sword-like. Hammers will typically have the lowest damage. That's why that one big 2-handed hammer that Gorim sells has like bonus damage on it, then bonus armor penetration, then 3 rune slots, then some like crit chance or something on it too. And it's ridiculous. And like 75 stamina. The weapon is just stupid for a 2-hander, right? But it's not a sword for a reason. Like, swords are like slashing weapons, and their armor penetration is shit. Their damage is usually highest, and their speed is usually technically fastest. But against anybody that has any kind of defense whatsoever, swords are kind of last, really. Kind of last. Oh, this is the traitor, right?
First warrior to fall is vanquished. The victor is champion. Fight!
I'll get on it. Should we get you a ladder so you can get off my back? All right. I'll get on it.
Stun me, but I didn't stun him.
Ladder so you can get off my back. On your guard, Rich! Breaking his foot already! Now's better than later.
Oh wow, this is gonna be annoying. Neither of us can hit each other. This is funny.
Just call me the Reaper.
I'm going to destroy you!
Sounds better than later.
How does he have that ability at like level 2?
Can I get you a ladder so you can get off my back?
That's what I'm kind of curious. How does he have that ability at like level 2?
Winner!
You know, he's got like, you know, a rank 50 shield skill at like level 2. Oh, that's totally fair. The dude's a fucking traitor and a cheat anyway, so.
Congratulations.
Anyway, I didn't have to use any heals, so I guess that's good.
Fierce a competitor as I've ever seen. You vanquished every warrior of note in today's proving. The ceremonial helm, commissioned by your father for today's winner, is yours. Your glory honors every warrior here.
I think we actually could wear it if we want to. Totally looking like Legion of the Dead right there. That's pretty cool. Willpower and Constitution too. Although you lose all of it, so we keep that for Morgan. Yeah, I definitely want to sell that. I've just never worn helmets in the game. I really haven't. No, I agree. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about kiss her. I don't know how to pronounce it. We're talking about it last night. And yeah, he's got all kinds of cool shit. Like, I mean, the dude's obviously like totally obsessed with just creating like just way off the wall backward stuff and just like, I mean, that's his jam. And I get that. I respect that. In this one thing, I don't particularly agree. I don't think the comparison, I don't think the stats, I don't think the stats actually support it. If and when you put the same effort into a party build in an individual, he does a lot of solo stuff in there too. I'm not saying he has mods in there either. I'm not saying he doesn't. But he kind of comes across as like the type that wouldn't do that, you know, just for integrity's sake. Right? And if he did, he would definitely just say, you know, I just had to do this here because it's fucking amazing. Like, I can totally respect that. Right? But I don't, so no accusations there. I've seen some people claiming to be playing Dragon Age 2 on Nightmare and they're playing on normal. And I know they are. The numbers, the location, the level, the gear, the stuff. Yeah, like it's completely obvious. You know, shit like that. He's not one of those. And I mean, like, what is that going to get you anyway? Claiming to do something you're not doing, it's just fucking stupid. So, but
lady?
No, seriously. I think his particular take on that. I'm not saying there wouldn't be some situations in the game where that wouldn't have an advantage. If you just went full bore and just said, I'm going to invest in this. This is what I'm going for. So I've got a weapon that requires these attributes, so I'm going to take those instead of this. And I'm just going to lean on that and see what happens. And I'm not saying it wouldn't be useless. I'm not saying that. I just think at the end of the day, when it comes to raw numbers, you give me a high strength with a Vestial that increases my strength by 10%, instead of taking a strength character and reducing my strength by 15% and trying to make up for it with Dex, which is a rogue number. Where rogues definitely get some benefit from Dex that nobody else does. But whatever. Whatever. anyway, I can't see a 25% decrease doing anything but maybe breaking even at the end of the day. Some small benefit here, some big setback over here. You know, something like that. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I've noticed Alistair gets real, and I notice enemy dudes with sword and board, they get real kind of unhittable, right? With just enough dex to apply their shield skills, you can tell when they have them, because you can't backstab them anymore. You literally can't backstab them. So, even as a rogue, right? So, like, you have that. And I think just taking dex all the way up into, like, the 60s and 70s or something, and leaving your strength just, like, where you need it, just to equip armor and just to equip stuff. You know, I mean, I guess you could find the cheapest armor, like, benefit for whatever. But, I mean, like, even, like, the Templar Commander plate, I think it takes, like, 42 strength. You still have to have some strength invested. You know, and that doesn't do every time you put a point into strength to not only equip shit, but increase your attack and increase your damage, which it does work with the rogue. Problem is, your dagger ignores that. It literally nerfs it. You got to put an extra 15% into strength to equal the points that you're putting into dex. So you're actually taking away from your character. Now, does that mean a huge amount of stuff? Not necessarily, but it's still 15% is 15%. It's a 25% turnaround if you just go ahead and put those points into strength and use a weapon that enhances your strength even further. So if I put an extra 50 points into strength instead of dex, then you go ahead and increase that by 25%. It's like I put 75 points into strength and all the damage and attack that accrues. And resistance as well. So, I mean, I don't see how the math works, but I don't know. I'll go look at it again and see what he uses. But if I see him with a sword, using it as a comparison, if I see him using a sword, I know it's completely fucking glitched. It's completely fucking janky comparison. I think he's smart enough to know that too, so I'd be curious why he did that on purpose. But if he's using a sword and board, why the fuck are you doing that? It should be an axe and a board if you want to make an actual comparison on if a dagger is actually somehow better than a weapon and shield. I mean, sword and board is just, it's a phrase, but it's any one-handed, whether it's a mace, a sword, or an axe. Or, fucking, I don't know, anything, a talisman or something, whatever, doesn't matter. Weapon and shield, sword and board. We all get what the name means. But if he's not using the Vestial in the example, then that's a skewed comparison. The comparison isn't legit. It's just not. Anyway.
Your wish is our command.
It'd be a huge one. I think Starfane still has 3 rune slots. I mean, there is that. But if you're telling me he's using Starfang with a heavy strength build, well, then you're seriously missing out on 10% of that right out the chute. Then whatever the damage difference is, which it might be roughly the same. But then the armor penetration difference, which is going to be vastly superior with an axe. And if you're talking about Sir Cothran, well, that's heavy plate that you're dealing with, so that's definitely armor penetration there, which is probably equivalent to your dagger. It's probably about the same. Speed's going to be a tiny bit slower. Damage is going to be a tiny bit bigger. The strength modifier is going to be 25% higher. Just saying. I'm guessing it probably breaks even. So I'm not saying his idea is a bad one. I'm just saying his Petri test just doesn't jibe. That's what I'm saying. So like it's not even a criticism because his ideas are really, really good. And they're really, really fun to watch. Regardless. Right? But you're asking me, would I do that? And so I'm in my head kind of crunching the numbers and I'm saying like instead of investing 30, 40, 50, 100 hours into like going with something and realizing I'm just fucking treading water. And on paper and in gameplay, what I can think for myself, it sounds like that's about what I'd be doing. And now a higher dex does give you some advantage. And a higher strength does give you some other advantage. And I'm not just talking about equipment stuff, I'm talking about resistances and things like that. What's up, T? What's going on, man? Do you remember when we went through this, Lionel? Maybe you might remember. And I'm not saying this is the exact same kind of thing, but it's kind of a similar example. Is by pure numbers, at times under ideal conditions with a specific build, which was kind of hard to micromanage, but you could do it. A dual wield warrior could theoretically put up big numbers over a specific period of time if you cherry pick the conditions and ignore the other 99% of gameplay. And then we proved with a two-handed warrior at the same level with the same shit, the same equivalent gear, you know, the dual wield warrior, you got dual vestiales. With the two-hander, you got that big ass hammer. And with Indomitable, we proved that the two-hander stays on its feet to actually fight around 50% longer than the dual-wield warrior does, because the dual-wield warrior gets knocked on its pussy roughly every time a dragon farts a continent away, you get knocked on your ass. Stunned, knocked down, obliterated, poisoned, decimated, picked up, chewed, mauled. And the two-hander is just in there swinging that big-ass hammer. Yeah, it might be half as fast, but goddammit, you're hitting 3 times harder, and you're hitting 50% more often. Guess who wins the DPS race at the end of the day. Not the damage per second, but the damage per seconds. Like in a 30-second fight, guess who wins? 99% of the time. The two-hander does. Now, guess who also beats the dual-wield warrior? With their heavy armor and they're fucking getting knocked over every time the wind blows. In fact, every time the wind doesn't blow, they brace for the wind that's not coming, and then they knock themselves over. Guess who else out-damages the dual-wield warrior? The fucking rogue does. Hands down. And dodges more hits than the fucking dual-wield warrior takes. Seriously. That's just proven just over hours and hours of gameplay. You'd have to make hour-long videos of that to compare and show that that's the case. Right? So this is one of those things. So if you take this weapon and under these cherry-pick conditions and under this specific fight, maybe, but only if you compare it to another character that's got an equal build, that's not equally invested, and that doesn't use an equal scaled and valued weapon that embraces those particular stats, which is why those weapons exist, to embrace and buff those particular stats. This is another one of those things where I'd be like, nah, man. Now, if at best you're breaking even, and then why would I even do that? I say investing fully in your strength and just instead of kind of mix matching and all this and that. I mean, it's good for experimentation, but as far as just being superior in every way, I don't agree with that claim, Lionel. I don't agree. You say it's superior in every way, I say that's a lie. Now, it could be, and then I would be wrong. Okay, fine, but I don't think I am. And would I go spend a couple 100 hours both ways testing that out? No, I wouldn't. I actually wouldn't. Because if there's a 1 point different, at the end of the day, if you crunch the numbers and it's 1,000,001 point compared to 1,000,000 even, it's totally not worth any of that. So,
my lady.
Yeah. Just saying. What's up, lady?
You honor me, Your Highness.
All this shit. Why can't they sell some, like, whatchamacallit? Why can't they sell some health poultices? You know, your merchant friend, if you play a commoner, if you start with a commoner dwarf, even if we did sword and board, commoner dwarf, the merchant friend, what's his name? Oh, your little traitor backstabbing buddy. What's his name? Lesky? Yes, Sketchy Lesky. Yeah, Lesky's buddy merchant that you sell the lyrium to, she sells a couple health poultices and you don't get anything taken from you. Either. Now, I don't think it amounts to the 25 sovereigns that you get from being a dwarf noble. I don't think anything's going to actually amount to that, but still. Anyway, whatever. Palace. Hold on a second. Let me see something. If you're a rogue, you could start stealing shit here too. I'm just saying. You know, just because. Oh, it's going good. Kind of feels like a weekend, even though it's not. I know it's Sunday. It's about to be Monday for everybody, right? Oh, I guess it is Monday now. Yeah, it's 1 o'clock Monday. I got to go in earlier today than I did yesterday, but then I've got Tuesday off this week for just no reason, just out of nowhere. I've got Tuesday off. Go figure. Anyway, so tomorrow we'll be able to stay on a little later, but tonight I can't just be messing around here for, until 6 in the morning again and being all holed out when I go to work.
Look, the Grey Wardens are here.
Might I
The raid tomorrow must be more than a standard mission. The Wardens only go where the Darkspawn are the greatest threat.
Many thanks for your willingness to hear me out, my lady. I wish to speak to you of a matter most urgent.
There is a vote coming before the Assembly next week. And a word from you could go a long way towards helping our cause.
Our cause. So now we're buddies. Do we have any idea who this is? Just saying. Right? Oh, tacos on Tuesday? Shit. I'll be off Tuesday. Kind of sucks. I'm pretty far from the taco trucks. It's not that I couldn't find one though. I think I'd have to drive to the island though to find one that I trust. You know, taco trucks are either 11 out of 10 or -5 out of 0. They're one or the other.
Well, you do cut to the point, don't you? You'll be quite a shock if you ever join the Assembly. We are so fond of our doublespeak. I have no desire to obligate you or force your hand. I propose a mutually beneficial arrangement. The vote concerns the status of the so-called surface caste. Lost to the stone, air-touched, and so forth. Centuries ago, narrow-minded men declared that any dwarf who left to live on the surface forfeited his caste, and his house if noble. That he was, in essence, no longer a dwarf. I seek only to remedy an injustice, to retie the bonds of anyone who can trace himself to one of the noble houses wherever he may live. Please, agree to speak for this noble cause. I keep my ears to the stone, my lady. I hear many things, some of which could be a great help during your mission tomorrow. A little forewarning to help your forearming, if you know what I mean.
Now.
Saving for a run for the Assembly? Never mind. If hard currency is what you wish, hard currency is what you will have. How does 100 sovereigns sound?
Oh, okay.
When your
That'll
father
work.
presents you to the noble houses...
All right, so
I
he
will
already
ask your
knows
opinion
that
on
you're
that.
already set up for tomorrow,
Merely
and that
to
you'll
say
probably not
that
be
you
getting
feel our
back.
surface
So you do
brothers
this for
to be
him. He
returned
hopes you
every
die
war.
tomorrow. That's how.
Be more simple.
That's how politicians are friends. Well, I hope you die tomorrow, but I'm not going to kill you. That's a politician friend. If any of you all are in the American government, I guarantee that you can vouch for what I just said. Seriously. We haven't actually been over here. I don't think I can open anything here though. That kind of sucks. I can sell that. God damn it. Right? Yeah, it sucks. Can't have any of this shit. None of it. It sucks to not be a rogue. Dude, sometimes this just makes me play a rogue all the time because I want all the stuff. You can't tell me I can't have things. Like, why can't I have things?
You're a fool.
Dude, give me a rogue in my party, and I'll build that rogue specifically just to unlock shit. Even if that rogue is just like a complete liability in a fight, I want a rogue to unlock shit. At Ostagar, you get a rogue that can unlock like 2 chests. Nothing, it can't even disarm a fucking trap. Ridiculous. This bitch right here. Why does she have... Oh, she's got the same quest mark. I don't care what she has to say.
My king.
I'm about to make some money.
The trade contracts alone could bring great prosperity to our houses.
Will we really turn our back on our brothers and a potential fortune in cheap labor because of a political technicality?
Oh, the creamy habanero, that's the green, right? Usually the green sauce?
Technicality. There is more to life than monetary gains, my lords Bimo and Mino.
My favorite tacos from any place is whatever sauces they have,
or they will rot and
whatever's
die
available.
alone,
It's usually green and
surrounded by
red.
Enemies.
But if you get the taco, and they'll warn you like, this is really hot, and I'm like, I don't care if it's hot. I just want to know that if I put both of these on this taco with the lime, maybe a slice of avocado, whatever you got going on, if those two mix with your taco and they make this magical shit happen that makes my mouth taste so fucking amazing that I have to slap myself, that's all I care about. Because, like, I've never had a taco sauce from one place that works on a taco somewhere else. Like, if a legit taco truck has a red and a green sauce and probably just whatever, and I say, make your tacos the way you make them. They say, do you want like, you know, this or that on it? And I'll be like, however you make them. Just make them the way you make them, and then give me whatever sauce you got. That's what I always tell them. And I'll ask them, do you have avocado? They'll be like, yeah, okay. And then you'll have a little slice of avocado in your little fucking street taco. And it'll have like 2 little corn tortillas, one to keep the other one from falling apart, right? And you'll have like anywhere from like 4 to probably 6 of them, depending on how big they are. You'll get 6 of them if they're like this big. If they're like this big, you might get 3 or 4. Anyway, whatever, all the same shit. You get them on the stuff, and they've got all the little things and little diced onions and all that shit. And you hit them all with lime, and then you hit them all with the red sauce, and you hit them all with the green sauce. And if it doesn't taste so amazing that it makes your eyes roll back in your head, it's a shit taco truck. But a lot of taco trucks do it right. They'll have their own, and all their shit's homemade. That red sauce and green sauce is from scratch. I don't know how easy or hard it is to make, but it should work with whatever they make their tacos out of. However they season their meats and however they do their thing and whatever they base their tortillas with to make them like, you know, greasy and wet and delicious and shit. It's got to work with that. And so I have a couple taco trucks where their red and their green sauce put together with whatever they do to their shit work. And I know a couple taco trucks where it really kind of doesn't. It's not bad. It's just kind of mediocre. And the magic doesn't happen. When you put all their shit together on their shit, I mean, if it's good, it just works. I don't even know how to put words on it. It's a thing. It's just a thing. And it makes it better than any restaurant tacos you'll ever get anywhere. 10 times better for about half the price. Anyway. Is all this really necessary?
These rituals have their place.
Do I really have to do this shit?
You to get to know the nobles and let them know you.
It behooves me.
Lords, ladies,
I don't think this behooves anybody, actually.
We are here
I don't think all this politics actually serves any purpose. Come to think of it.
Blessed by the stone and born of the blood that ran in the veins of the Paragon Idukan, who would pose a question to the prospective commander? Who seeks to know the prospect better?
I have a question. I seek to know the prospect better.
Lord
Dace,
hey,
I get to ask
head
the
of
question
House
here.
Dace, speak.
Is
Lords,
it just
ladies,
us dudes here?
My question concerns
Or is there,
our
well, I
wayward
mean,
kid,
maybe
the so-called
a dude can
service
answer this
cast.
question.
What does the commander prospect think
It's
is the
assuming
proper
everybody in the
place
chat
for
knows the
these
difference
lost
between a
souls?
dude and a lady or whatever, boy and a girl, whatever you want to call it, male, female, whatever. So okay, so after work, I had a decent day for a Sunday. And so I went to go get some food for the next couple days type thing. Got some Ziegenbock because it was on sale for like $17, which is what I'm drinking right now because it's fucking amazing. It's my favorite beer ever, I think. Honestly, T-Verse, I think I'm like even preferring this shit over Modelo Negra. It's called Ziegenbock, and I don't know if you can get it where you're at, but if you ever see it, Ziegenbock, it's in a black case. It looks like a Halloween. Yeah. Anyway. Ziegenbock. If you ever see it, I know you love Modelo Negras, so I think you'll like this even more somehow. And they actually cost a couple bucks less. And they're easily as good no, they're better. I hate to say it, they're better. They're actually better. Because they just go smooth by themselves, and they're just... Anyway, off point. So, I was like, man, I need some cologne. And so I went over there, and I was in Walmart, right? So, I'm over there, and I'm like, I'm trying to find somebody to come open the cologne case so I can just look at some shit, right? There's nobody, so that took me like half an hour. But anyway, so I'm looking, and I saw Kenneth Cole. And I'm like, I've heard of that. It's probably like super old school, like way outdated. Cologne has like surpassed this shit. This is like, 1950s, aftershave compared to modern colognes. But I'm like, I've heard of it. And they had like a gift pack, probably left over from the holidays. And it was like cheap. And I'm like, I like having cologne in the car because when I'm like running deliveries, especially during the summertime, yeah, you start to get funky after a while. It's just like you're just literally, you're oily and sweaty and cooking in your own skin. Because I'm in Texas, the humidity's 100%, and the temperature is even higher than that. So, like, it's just stupid. So I like to have some of that stuff. Anyway, but I was like, you know, I don't really have, I guess this is like somebody living under a rock. What's the best cologne right now? Like, if you're a lady, like, what do you really like? Like, what's a good cologne for a dude to wear? Now, everybody's going to have their own taste and all this and that, but there's got to be, like, a particular thing. And it could be an older one that's going to definitely be cheaper, right? I had one girlfriend, her favorite shit, this was years and years, was Geo. Just basic Geo. Not Geo Black or Geo Green or Geo Aquarian or Geo, you know, any of this bullshit. It was just Geo, right? But, no, it's true, T-Verse. I'm not gonna say you like them better, but it'd be one of those, if you can't get Modelo Negras, you get Ziegenbach, because they're equal. It's just that the Ziegenbachs are just a little bit smoother. They're not light, but they're smoother. They got the same vibe, but I don't know, sometimes that heady, overwhelming, like Guinness type thing is really good with Modelo Negras. And you really need that, like maybe with like a particular type of pizza or something. So no, I'm not going to say it's better. I'm going to say you would like it equally as much. Like, look at it. That's it. It's actually cheaper, and it tastes as good. Okay, I'm not going to say it's, yeah, that's heresy. I'm not going to say it's better. It's slightly different, but kind of the same. But it's actually smoother, believe it or not. It's actually smoother. Like, when I say smooth, I mean just that like, damn, it's a sipping beer, man. It's really good. It's really, really good. It's a German formula made by the same people that make Scheinerbach and some other things in Texas, believe it or not. So it's not a Texas beer. It's actually a German recipe, but they make it here, and it's better than an import. It's a little cheaper than an import because it's not imported. It's just made the way they. Anyway, if you ever find it, just try it. Trust me, you won't hate me for it. You'll be like, oh my god, this shit is amazing, and then you'll be like, oh my god, I don't want to be a traitor to Modelo Negras, but this shit is like equally as amazing, and it's a little bit cheaper. So I'm hoping they're kind of out of Modelo Negras, so I can get this instead because it's cheaper and it's just as good, if not better. But it's not better, even though it kind of is, depending. It's one of those things. It's a conflict, you know. It'll give you something to think about in life. Anyway, so seriously, this is an actual, like, serious question. What cologne for dudes? What cologne is, like, the shit these days? If it's, like, a super expensive one, then I'll have to wait. Like I think my expensive colognes, I think one of my favorite was Abercrombie & Fitch. I really, really like that one. And I like the original Nautica, but it has to be Nautica. Now all you can find is like Nautica Voyager and Nautica this and Nautica that, and it's just like knockoff Adidas bullshit. And it's just like, why the fuck? Where's the OG at? So can't seem to find that anymore. But like, what's a really, really proper cologne that the ladies like these days? I'm not trying to attract a dude. If you're a dude trying to attract a dude, maybe there's particular colognes for that. Yeah, don't give me that advice, please. Okay, don't troll me with that bullshit. You know, yeah, I'm not interested in that. Just saying. But yeah, y'all got any ideas? Something to look for? Because I don't know. Yeah, I think my shit. I really like Cool Water. I like the original Cool Water. Like, I fucking love that. I just love the way it smells. I'm like, I can just fucking spray that shit on, just be like, oh my god, this shit smells amazing. You know, I fucking love it. It only lasts like 30 minutes after you spray it on, but I mean, at least to you, maybe you just keep spraying it on, and all of a sudden you're so potent that you're like, you know, driving the birds away downwind, you know, that type of shit. But no, seriously, what's a good cologne? What's a good cologne? Like the girls are like, oh, okay, that's some smell good shit right there. You know, that type of thing. I'm seriously asking you guys, so can just somebody answer that one and say, well, maybe you could, you know, check this one out. Just something. Anyway. So I got this Kenneth Cole, and it was like 3 different versions, little tiny bottles, and it was pretty cheap. Probably leftover gift packs, and I'm like, okay, cool. Little half-ounce bottles, there's like 3 of them. And so I smelled each one, and I'm like, I like this one. I really like this one. I don't like this one so much. It was like a bluish one. And Kenneth Cole is like a black bottle, right? But it was like blue. And it, I don't know what, pretty much worn off, but it doesn't smell like air freshener, but it's just not, it doesn't have the cologne vibe thing. I don't know. No, I get that. It's not something where I go, I don't put it on till my skin is wet. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just saying a cologne that is like modern. Is that a thing? You know, like now, like this is popular, like this kind of scent. Like at one point it was like some sandalwood shit. At one point it was like some polo shit. So it was like Halston and polo. And it was like really, what would you say? Musky stuff. And then it got like super light. So you had Geo and you had Cool Water. And then Nautica was like kind of sort of like a new thing. It was like kind of like light, but it kind of leaned a little towards like, I'm not going to say vanilla, but I don't know. It was different, right? And so, I mean, these things go through motions and stuff. I'm just curious what's popular now, because I want to try something that's like unique and that everybody's like, if I smell that, I want to bang this guy. I'm not using cologne to get banged, but I'm just saying, you know, something like that. If you're going to have a cologne on, then it should be something good, I think. Cool Water, are you down with that? Dude, I really like it. Like, dude, it's just like this perennial thing. I like the original Polo. I'm not gonna lie. I like, and that's old school, old school. I like Halston. But then when Halston, it doesn't turn into that aftershave smell. I don't think it deserves like the old man status type thing. But Halston Z14, that was like really nice. The original Polo was nice. Cool Water, when it came out though, I was like, this is fresh. Like this is like, when you smell it, like images come to mind. You're like, damn, that's some fresh ass cologne right there. So yeah, I'm cool with that too. Finding the original Cool Water though, you can't even find Abercrombie and Finch. It's called something else. It's called Abercrombie and Finch, like Savage or something, which is the original scent, but it's slightly different. So like if you go into an Abercrombie and Finch store, do you know that they actually give their employees bottles of their fucking scent to spray on everything at the end of the day, so that the next day when they open, it smells like fucking cologne when you walk by an Abercrombie and Finch? They literally actually do that. But you can't get that original formula anymore. So if you want to buy that delicious smelling ass cologne scented shit, you can't actually get the cologne itself. Unless maybe if you like go to an Abercrombie and Finch and tell one of the employees, man, could you squirt about an ounce of that shit into this bottle right here, into this eyedropper, and so I can use it? Outside of that, I don't think you can actually get it. I was a fan of that. Cool Water isn't that much that different from that, but I think Cool Water is like super lighter. It's like super, it's like ocean breeze type shit, It's just, yeah, I don't know. I'm a fan too. So I mean, if that's still cool, it's still cool. I guess it's just whatever goes along with you. Now this Kenneth Cole, it had 3 different versions. The middle one, I'm not saying it smells like air freshener, but I'm just really not a fan. It leans more towards perfume. It's not perfume, but it leans more towards that. So I think I kind of wasted my money on that one. But the black one and then the lighter black one, those two, they smell really fresh. They're not Cool Water, but they're kind of close. But yeah, anyway. And Geo actually wasn't that far removed from Cool Water either. It was pretty bright and citrusy and fresh smelling, So, but I would say that because I had a girlfriend who was a fanatic for it. She was like, that was her shit. If you wanted to get jumped, just spray that shit on. It just sucks that if anybody else sprayed that shit on, they might get jumped too. Oh well. Guess it goes with the territory.
Thank you, my lady.
Well, I almost selected the wrong thing right there.
Then if there are no other challenges, I give you Orzamar's next commander.
Rah, rah.
Tomorrow, our newest commander will lead part of a mission to strike a
beer
great
steins
blow
right
to
there.
the Darkspawn.
Beer mugs.
Not only
those are
does
legit.
this
That's at
recover
least a leader
access
right
to
there.
some of our most important mines, but it also allows our honored guest Duncan, head of Ferelden's Grey Wardens, to strike far into the deep road.
Let's see. What's a
Thank
pint?
you, King Endrin.
16 ounces.
While the
2
Darkspawn
pints to a
seem
quart.
to withdraw, it is only
That's
because
32
they are
ounces.
massing on the surface.
4 quarts
This
to a
could mean
gallon.
blight, and my men and I will discover the truth.
64,
We
128
are honored to
ounces.
have you with us, my friend.
That's
Now,
a gallon.
Feast, drink, and
Give
celebrate.
me a 144
For the
ounce
morning
mug.
brings battle.
144.
As for you,
I
my
want a
new
gallon
commander,
plus, motherfucker.
find your brother
Right
Trian
here.
and send him to me. He may be watching the provings, or getting some rest in his rooms.
Sorry. 144 ounce. Can you imagine? That's a beer mug for real.
Don't question everything. Just go for the ancestors' sake.
I would go for the ancestor snake, but my question, Father, is you're a dwarven king. Why in the fuck are you wearing blood mage robes? Can we all ask King Edrin why the fuck he's wearing Tevinter blood mage robes? Just saying. Oh, Harrowmont has some fucking circle mage robes on. Okay, this is not getting weird. Where did Duncan go?
May House Educan grow in strength and power.
Oh, there he is. right, hold on a second. Let me talk to Duncan real quick.
Greetings, my
I'm gonna
lady
hang out with
Iduka.
I'm gonna hang out
It
with
is an honor
Dunbro.
to meet you at last.
Dunbro right there. All right, so I guess nobody's a clone freak like I am. Like, I'm a clone freak. I just really like cologne. I really actually do. Just want to find another one that I'm not aware of, but whatever.
Not as such, but your father never misses a chance to boast of your skill and bravery. He says you may be the most skilled warrior in all of House Idukan.
Oh, no, I'm absolutely the best.
Yes, he mentioned your humble
Oh,
nature
no,
as well.
I
We
rule
need
the
more
roost.
Grey
I
Warriors
really do.
like you, and quickly. Even as the Darkspawn weaken here in Ozamar, they are stirring on the surface. A blight has begun. Soon the fight must go beyond the deep roads, lest the Darkspawn threaten all the world.
Hebers. Look at that shit, bro. It looks like coffee. This looks like espresso and shit, right? It really does. This is not imported. You could call it domestic, I guess. It's an imported recipe. Dude, this is not. No, this is better than most imports. This makes Corona dark. Tastes like shit. I will say that. I don't know. I'm still kind of on the fence. I'll tell you what. Do I take this over Modelo Negra? Damn. What's a little bit cheaper? It's just as good. I'm actually not kidding. I know it's blasphemy or something or whatever. Treason or something, but
You know of our dedication to destroying the Darkspawn, our frontline presence during a blight. What else would you know? Over the centuries, many dwarves have made names for themselves in our order. These days, however, there are fewer dwarves, and thus even fewer dwarven Grey Wardens. A pity, since dwarven warriors have the most
of the tides have been overrun or destroyed, or cut off, right? So who knows if they're even surviving or not? I mean, that's kind of one of the arguments that you hear when you pop up. Either they're going to follow Orzammar rule, or they can just die. Cut off. So there's no brotherly love there. This is the very much like Democrat Republican shit. Like, we'll pretend to be opposing each other, but if we're not all on the same page, you die. No matter who you are. Yeah, this is no shit. Like the dwarves are on a scale of 0 to 100, good to bad, 100 being good, they're like 3. Questionably, maybe -5. Just saying. Like, let's just be honest.
Being a Grey Warden means abandoning all ties to your old life. It means dedicating yourself to destroying the Darkspawn.
He doesn't lie to you here. If he told every recruit this, being a Grey Warden means abandoning all ties to your old life. Meaning, what ties do you have to your old life? Your actual life. Yeah, you may actually lose any tie to your old life because you're dead. He does not lie to you here. He tells you, being a Grey Warden means abandoning all ties to your old life, including the tie of your actual life itself. He does not lie to you. There's no double speak here. There's no bullshit. Is he going to give you the details? Probably wouldn't get many recruits, but honestly, would probably still get some recruits because some of the things that these people are fleeing from, like us, death in the deep roads, or, a political execution, like the human noble, or being raped to death by some nobles as a city elf and shit like that. Yeah. As long as I can come back as a free warden and execute these motherfuckers for what they did to me, my family, my people, my nation, my country, my whatever, right? But 100%, he does not lie to you here. What is one of the ties to your old life? It's your life. Your old life and your current life, the tie is that you're living. If you die, that abandons your tie to your old life because now you're dead. He does not lie to you. I heard the argument is, well, I'm kind of sympathizing with the motherfucker who's a coward who is running out on his wife, trying to be a warden so he could go be a hero and seem responsible even though he's a fucking absentee father. Jory? You know, I think Duncan should have been more clear on what Duncan told him because I'm a fucking woke politician loving motherfucking Satan lap licker, and I literally had to argue against that. I had to because you can't just let that shit just exist in somebody's mind. That's just evil. So here this actually proves, he actually tells you exactly what it means. Abandoning all ties to your old life, including the tie of your life. Abandoning all that. Being willing to sacrifice everything. Not just your family, not just your job, not just your home, not just your whatever, but your fucking life itself, if necessary. And if you're not willing to do that, then you don't deserve to serve your country anyway. That's why Americans love their fucking military. Because these motherfuckers know they can go die. Men and women. If they just get out there and fucking hump it and do some shit that you wouldn't be willing to do on a daily basis, they do that shit yearly. And they go out there and just do their shit. It's its own fraternity. And you know what? They know they could die at any minute. If they get called up, they're gonna go. And if they go, they could die. And guess what? They fucking go anyway. That's some gangster ass shit. And if you say you didn't know the cost ahead of time, so you've got some woke fucking liberal, bureaucratic, red, demonic, satanic political tape to call on to say that, oh my God, I should be sympathized with. No, motherfucker, they should have probably killed you in training at that point. And if you were dead, the world will not miss you. You fucking coward fuck. That's what that shit is about. And for us that are civilians, we should respect that because we wouldn't be willing to do it ourselves. So, and that's one reason why we fucking play this game and we just be the warden, and the warden is like the coolest character, even a little bit cooler than Hawk, even though Hawk is a very, very close second. Because Hawk is like thrown into that shit, and it's not military, but becomes so military that Hawk makes the military look bad. Hawk is like that, what do you call it? That, Hawk is mercenary. Hawk is mercenary as fuck. Hawk is more mercenary than the Talvashoth. That's some gangster shit right there. And she can actually become Viscount. So that's ruling the roost, if you ask me. Anyway, just really good story writing, but something to pay. I'm back to Sir Lick. What? I'm not Sir Lick. The fucking dog is. Well, not yet, because we don't have the dog yet. Give that a minute. Just give it a minute. Huh. Yeah, like, well, like Lot's wife, right? She wanted to go back to that shit because it was comfortable. And she could access that shit on the internet all day long. And she turned into a pillar of salt. Good question. That was Sodom and Gomorrah, which is exactly where the Dead Sea is right now. What's the Dead Sea made of, Lionel? You know what the Dead Sea actually is? It's like 80% salt. 80%, like it's still liquid somehow, but it's like literally, it's not salt water, it's literally liquid salt. Lot's wife was turned to salt. Kind of makes you wonder what happened to everybody else in Sodom and Gomorrah. Because you have the Dead Sea there, and it's the highest saltwater content of any place on Earth. The oceans are like 60% more water compared to the Dead Sea. There's only a couple creatures that can live in it, and it's so buoyant that you can actually float like dead weights on the surface of the water. Like you can float a dime on the surface of a cup of water. You can float like dead weights. Damn near. Like it's kind of crazy. Anyway, that's just science stuff, but yeah, it's almost completely salt. And Lot's wife was turned to what? A pillar of salt. What happened to everybody else there? And that kind of brings to the question, like, why are all the oceans made of like a lot of salt? Because there was a destruction of an Earth age in the past, which resulted in God destroying everything on the actual Earth itself. Not flesh and blood bodies like Adam and Eve have these days, but whoever, well, us, as we lived in the world, and depending on what we did and didn't do and so on and so forth, and I guess the dinosaurs had to suffer and shit like that, but man, there's a whole lot of salt water in the oceans too, as opposed to fresh water. Fresh water is one thing, salt water is another. Where do you think all this salt came from in those oceans? Do you think Sodom and Gomorrah was maybe an example of that? Why we have so much salt content in the oceans globally after the destruction of the first Earth age? And then Sodom and Gomorrah gives you an example of why. That was a consolidated example. And it's the most consolidated salt content on any body of water on the face of the planet. Times like 1,000 or something. It's just kind of ridiculous. Anyway, yeah, something to think about. Kind of validates some stuff that you've read. I mean, you've obviously read it. That kind of validates it, right? And gives you something more to think about, which is always a good thing. All right.
Truly.
Okay.
Then I will speak to your
That
father.
was a side convo right there. That was a side convo. Yeah, no shit.
Until then,
you really think so?
Good luck
Yeah,
to you.
I believe so
Show the
too.
darkspawn
Like
what
that's
your
freaking
people are
amazing, right? Yeah, it's totally amazing. What does that have to do with what we're talking about? Like nothing, but it has everything to do with what we're talking about. Yeah, totally, right? Okay, yeah. Cool, right? Okay, so let's get back to drinking beer and playing pool. Just saying.
That was well spoken.
Did I get even one single codex out of any of that? Talking to Duncan? I think I got one.
Blunt as ever, hmm?
Yeah.
Very well, then. Here is a note of credit for the 100 sovereigns.
A note of
Chamberlain
credit?
at my estates will pay you after the battle.
After the battle
Now I
tomorrow.
must be off.
See, he's hedging his bets. He promised it so you get it, but only if you survive tomorrow. So the best thing you can do right now is, because you're going to get stripped of everything, and he already knows that, is go sell this credit shit for 25%. 25 cents on the dollar, basically. Right? Like, dwarves are clever, if you will. Clever. I'm not saying they're greedy. I'm just saying their entire life depends on how much stuff they have. Not that they're greedy, but just saying. And so we just go sell this shit right now. This is like an extra, let's see, is it 25 sovereigns? Something like that.
My lady has returned. Is there something here that interests you? Please, look as you will.
Alright, so... yeah, it's 25. It's 25 even. So... this noble or whatever is going to have to pay out that 100 sovereigns. No matter what happens tomorrow, no matter how many times he hedged his bets, he's going to have to pay out that 100 sovereigns tomorrow because somebody bought that shit of credit. Which is awesome.
your service.
I can't do that.
No sign of trouble here.
So my question, do these things actually give off heat? Like, does Illyrium have, like, living heat? You know, like a human body type thing? Like, they look like fireplaces. And you only seem to find these things in places where people have, well, a lot of money and royalty and stuff, too. Right? Okay, I gotta point something out. I just have to. Alright, let me point this out. Okay, so if you look right above my head, right here, do you see this? Do you see this pillar? And this pillar has like a thing next to it, right? You might have to go look this up. But if you go look up a beacon in Mass Effect, it looks exactly like this. And here you have what? I guess that's red. Like the red lava, hell underneath, and then you have all these mountainous structures to where, imagine if you had spirit and flesh, right? And it was here. And you just tore willy-nilly the spirit from the flesh. And the natural world and the spirit world were torn like this, and everything that was lost just kind of fell into the abyss. And you had mountains and canyons and seas and abysses and shit like that in the real world. And then you had like islands and abysses and missing areas, and just kind of like you had crumbs over here. Let's just put it this way. And you had crumbs down here. And then what is created in the middle, in Mass Effect it'd be called Reapers. In Dragon Age it'd be called demons. But you have beacons. Why is there a Mass Effect beacon right here in a place where it looks like it's being torn asunder? And so then you go into Dragon Age 2 and you play in Sundermount. What is Sundermount? It's a place filled with towers and caves leading into the mountains that formed around the towers. The towers are only this tall. Before this happened, do you know what the towers looked like? They were towers. They were spires, like the Circle Tower. And castles and, you know, all kinds of, you know, skyscrapers and shit like that in Tevinter cities, right? When Tevinter owned the entire world, and then, I don't know, Flemeth and Solus were fucking, and the Dumont didn't like that. And so, basically, Dumont tried to do something about it, and Solus said, you know what, fuck you, and just sent Dumont to the abyss, along with all of his fucking blood mages, and then you have Dragon Age. I think that's the most simple I can actually break that down. But I'm pretty sure this is what this actual painting actually tells you. But once again, it's a beacon, and the beacon is something left behind by the Reapers in the universe that actually exists in Mass Effect. And it's not a whole lot different than Dragon Age. It's different, but it's not different. It's different, but the same. Does that make sense? If that makes sense to somebody, cool. Makes sense to me. Sort of. Anyway.
Congratulations on being named commander.
I mean, it's BioWare, and it's BioWare, so... And I can't open any fucking chests, so that sucks. Trian's not bad, he's just... He's like a Republican in Washington, D.C. Trian's not bad, he's just a Republican in Washington, D.C. He's woefully unprepared. Yeah, he's like a Republican senator in Washington, D.C. Or a Republican congressman, or or representative or just whatever their titles are. It's just all completely fluff because a huge majority of them are fucking child molesters and cannibals. We've already proven that, and nobody's been arrested, so it doesn't really matter what they are at this point, does it? That's probably a pretty good question, right? Oh, they can join Hollywood in their politics, because politics is Satan's version of government. The modern economy is Satan's version of actual, like, economy. Modern education is Satan's version of teaching the children. Just make them all just chop their dicks off, or just get dicks in their face and just say that that's normal. And if you don't like it, they just mass murder each other, because Satan is literally, well, Satan's first child, Cain, was actually, through Eve, was actually the first murderer. So yeah, that's what they're about. And then let's see. I guess if the evil people really want money, I guess they just make you sick and then make you pay to get better, and then they give you more shit to make you more sick, so you pay more to get better, and then you eventually die and they take all your shit. That's what you would call medicine. That's definitely part of the economy. I guess that's where we're at now.
So you're a commander now.
Prove me wrong.
Name at least. Shouldn't you be attending our King Father?
Anyway.
The world does not stop and start with your meager achievements.
Wow,
tonight.
That's disrespect.
Now, do you have some purpose in
I think if you disrespect somebody to this point, if you disrespect somebody, I don't care, family or not, to this point, if you get slapped and called out to a duel, you better be prepared to fight. Because any human being at this point would be like, okay, I've heard enough of your mouth. Let me see your sword arm, motherfucker, right now. I'm challenging you to a duel. And if you refuse the duel because you're a coward, I will tell everybody. Right now. We're either going to fight to the death, because I'm a man and you're not, even though my character is not a man, whatever. Or you could shut the fuck up and never talk again. And be publicly, either you're a coward or you're a coward. That's it, that's all. That's what dueling was for. You're either a coward and you need to never talk again and have no position in society, no respect from anyone, or you fight to the duel and you at least die with your honor. And that's not just men. Look at the old British queens under the Roman Empire. Get fucking gang raped to death and thrown into a fucking sewer and then come back and depose a fucking emperor of Rome? Yeah. Like Boudica? Yeah, some shit like that. That's what I'm talking about. That's being a human being as opposed to a fucking liberal, fucking woke-ass, simp piece of fucking fringe porn reject dog shit. At this point, yeah, I would call this motherfucker out to a duel. Let's just bypass all the political bullshit. Okay, me and you, sword arm to sword arm. You kill me, you win. I kill you, then you don't get to talk anymore because you need to shut the fuck up and never speak to anybody like that again because you've lost your sense of everything. That's how people should do shit. You wouldn't have any demonstrators in Minnesota. They'd all be dead. And the world would be a better place because of it. At least America would. Imagine what the UK would be like if their old sense of honor and chivalry existed at all. Like, literally, if you gave the UK honor and chivalry and common sense right now, if you gave them 1,000 doses of it, 1,000 out of 1,000, they would still be negative 10,000 doses of sanity. Do you understand being British is actually considered a mental illness now? There's actually memes about that, and it's not a joke. This motherfucker needs to be challenged to a duel right now. Okay, you know what? We're going to settle this right now. I don't care. This isn't about brother. This isn't about blood. This is about you saying shit to me that no human being should be allowed to say to another human being. And since we're nobility, I'm going to either fucking kill you or you're going to kill me. If you kill me, I guess you can keep talking shit. But something tells me God has my sword arm so fucking strong that as soon as I raise my sword arm, you're going to die of a heart attack. You woke fucking ICE protesting piece of shit, bitch, Satan fucking diarrhea, syphilis filth. That tells me that's what's exactly going to happen. And I know it's what's going to happen. Because God is God and then you have everything else. So there you have it.
You push your luck.
True story.
Get to bed. We have a big day tomorrow. I will see what our father wishes from his heir.
All day I've put up with that. He can really grate on the nerves.
You know what? You know what, guys? I really feel like the world is ready for motherfucker. From a Samuel L. Jackson perspective, but from a Christian perspective. Like, I don't think it's definitely not blaspheming. God's not a mother. And God's certainly not fucking any mothers. Satan certainly does, but God doesn't.
And what I'm going to tell you next will
anyway,
make you
I think the world is ready for Christians to embrace the Samuel L. Jackson. What's the word for it? Essence of motherfucker. You remember when Ryan Reynolds, like, how does Samuel L. Jackson, how does he actually ruin the word motherfucker? How is that even possible? He didn't ruin it. He created it. Like, it means, like, fuck you means something. Like, something completely different than what it meant, like, forever ago. Motherfucker means something completely different because of Samuel L. Jackson. I don't care about his politics. I don't care about his whatever. I just know that he has coined that term to have like an existential meaning that's above and beyond itself. Like when you say it right at the right time, it has a certain impact and it tells you a million things in 2 words. Like this thing has actually become like significant in language, and I don't really care what language you speak. Like this is almost something that like surpasses Babel, the confusion of the tongues where everybody's speaking some different shit or whatever, right? I'm not saying the Holy Spirit's going to say motherfucker. I'm just saying that a Christian embracing the term in context at the right time, at the right moment, in the right way to express 1,000 ideas in 2 words is a legitimate thing. I'm just putting that on the floor. Let's just say I'm in the House of Representatives. I'm putting that on the floor. Motherfucker just has, like, just at a certain, it has to be in context. It has to be at the specific time, in a specific place, and said in the right way, the way that Samuel L. Jackson says it. Because he says it exactly when he needs to, and he doesn't waste it when he doesn't have to waste it. I really believe it's like, the motherfucker. Like, you have to almost stomp your foot sometimes when you say it. And it just says everything without saying a whole bunch of things. True story? Just say it. All right? I'm not trying to put it in the Bible or anything. I'm just saying that as a Christian person, you can say that without any guilt whatsoever, because it really just kind of says everything. Because everybody just understands what you're saying when you say it at a specific point, in a specific time, in context, in relation to a specific thing. So it's got its own niche, but it's still a thing. You can't say it's not a thing. Dude, it came up in a movie. Ryan Reynolds was like, how does this dude ruin the word motherfucker? He didn't ruin it. He created it, dude. But Ryan Reynolds is confused at the time. Like, shit is going on around him. If you've ever seen The Hitman's Bodyguard, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't know, then you don't know. IYDK. But IYK, if you know, you know. So that's definitely a talking point.
Big sister, Trian is going to try to kill you.
I just had to break that down for myself. I was just sharing it with you guys because I had to break it down for myself. Like, this is like some legitimate shit. Like, motherfucker says so much more than that. Like, it doesn't even mean, like, I mean, motherfucker, like the definition of like the actual term, that would be whatever. Obviously, like if you're a husband having sex with your wife, you'd be a motherfucker if you have children and you're about to have children. I mean, like that doesn't even come close to expressing exactly what that term actually means. I don't even think it's profanity anymore. I mean, maybe it was socially, but at this point, no, man. It's a threat. It's an insult. It's a description. It's an expletive. It's a what? What would you say? It's like an expression of frustration and consternation. Just 2 words. Like, I mean, fuck you has its own thing. And then just the word fuck itself, which is like the worst word ever. You can't say it on TV, but everybody means it, and it gets bleeped out, and even the kids know what it is. And kids use the word 750,000 times per class period in their schools, and even the fucking teachers use it. So, like, that's hypocrisy right there. Yeah, the word fuck itself, but then fuck you, like that can even be like endearing. That can be like, oh, fuck you, yeah, fuck you, squeeze, just fuck you. You know, like, you can have that, right? So, like, that's like, there's a lot of things there. So the F word has apparently become like the centralizing union of all the languages and all the personalities of all the peoples, either for good or bad, in everything. So, I mean, if you use the F word one way or another, you can pretty much get whatever you're trying to say across. Either I'm going to kill you, or I love you, or that's just friggin' awesome, or I friggin' hate that. Fuck that. I hate that. And that's fucking awesome. I love that. Right? Fuck you. Oh, no, fuck you. No, I either hate you or I love you. Like, you see what I'm saying? Motherfucker. I can't believe that happened. Or, motherfucker. I can't believe how great this is. Like, I just hit the jackpot at fucking Las Vegas. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is... Like how's that word so intrinsic to everything that we say and express to each other? And somehow it's still profanity? So it's the only thing not allowed on public TV, but it's understood in everything you say on public TV and the internet at the same time. So am I tripping here, or it's like this is just a thing? It's like this is bigger than me, I guess. But I mean, it's fun to talk about, though. I'm not gonna lie.
I wouldn't have believed it myself if I hadn't overheard him giving orders to his men. Trian's decided you're a threat
That's a
to
lie.
us taking the throne.
That's a lie.
Maybe he's right.
So if you do this, you can actually fight Trian in the Deep Roads. It's worth some extra XP, but the fight is almost impossible. On Nightmare, I'm not saying it's impossible, it's almost impossible. And then you get tradered away anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
You are as noble and
but
stubborn
that fight
as ever.
is
After
not
Trian kills you, I suppose I will be
not
the
worth
heir.
it.
That's not how I would wish it. Enjoy your command tomorrow. I fear it will be short-lived.
Because of exactly everything that Balin put in play.
And I will be right outside the door. May the Paragons smile down on us.
That's not Go Rim, that's Bro Rim. You can mix Dwarf that has your back with Skyrim. It's a fucking Bro Rim.
Those caverns are still infested by the worst of the Darkspawn. We cannot risk our own troops in there.
Understood, Lord Haramont. We should be able to sense the Darkspawn and avoid them once the way is open.
May the Paragons favor you, and the stone catch you if you fall.
Come, men! Glory awaits!
Balin, you and your men will second the king, clearing the main road.
Don't you think it looks a little cowardly to allow these humans to take our place where the fighting is thickest?
Are you questioning the battle plan?
Of course not. I'm sure your caution is for the glory of us all.
Enough, Balin. Take your men and make ready.
His
Haramont
face.
and I need to have words with your sister.
Face expressions mean everything here.
Good luck, my sister.
In Dragon Age Origins, face expressions mean everything. Logain's, Balin's,
There is a secret door carved into
Arl, Rendon
The door
Howl,
leads to a time
Arl Howl.
abandoned long ago by your
Yeah,
ancestors.
it means everything.
The Darkspawn have made it impossible.
Look at your father's face expressions.
My father
Because your
believed that the
father
shield
already
of the
knows what
Paragon
Balin's
Iduken
doing,
remains
but is too much of a
inactivated
coward to call it out.
under the stone.
So you have to suffer for it. That's what a pussy your
Claim
fucking
the
father
shield.
is, as a dwarf.
Glory will be yours.
Those politics, when you deal with a liberal politician who's a fucking coward and isn't worth its fucking salt, is like the 10th in line, and it's just king by default, this is what you're actually dealing with.
We've sent 2 scouts ahead to make sure the tunnels are cleared. But be careful.
And
One
Haramont
of the
even
scouts
pretends
will
to
lead
know
you to the
less than he
first crossroads you
knows.
come to. The second will be further.
But your
in.
father's a
When you
fucking
get to the
bitch
door,
piece of shit.
Use your signet ring to open it. Questions? Very good. The crossroads where you meet the first scout will be the rendezvous.
Watch his face. Face expressions
There you can
mean
present the
everything.
shield to the lords and demonstrate the strength of Iduken.
May the ancestors watch over you, my child.
Watch. He already knows what the fuck is going on. That meant everything. That means everything in the game. The details, the art on the walls, the statue in a place where a statue can't exist, the face expression of somebody who's supposed to be with you and they already know you're dead. But they're too much of a coward to do anything about it. They're just going to let you carry the weight of that, and they're going to take that shit to the grave. Your father deserves every bad thing that happens to it. Not him, it. times 1,000. If there is some dwarven heaven, your father doesn't belong in it. Based on its own cowardice and piece of shittedness. And it just showed you that right there. In a face expression. Right there. Showed you everything. Your father knows exactly what Balin's doing. And is not doing anything against it. That's like Biden and Hunter Biden. Knows goddamn well what its son is. And if we had any justice system, they'd both be executed right now. Executed. Giving up state secrets. I'm not going to get into a political diatribe here, but yeah. Anyway, executed. Get it. Publicly. Get it. If God had anything to do with this. So, there you go.
Oh, this is a nasty one. Now's better than later. All right, all right.
Nice. Well, thankfully they don't have like really, really big sharp fangs or something, I guess. So yeah, you see it right there, right? Just right above my head, there's a trap there. I think once you get your rogue, you can come back and like disarm that trap. We'll try it to see if it works.
Creatures. Got it. Can I get you a ladder so you can get off my back? Got it. Better than later. All right. I'll get it. It's a massacre and no one's getting out alive.
So let's see if
You made it, Commander. Did you run afoul of any
that's
darkspawn?
That's not a rogue either.
As you say, onward then.
Let's see. Let me see if our scout can come back and disarm some of these traps. I think you get the scout and then you have to like save and reload.
Darkspawn, kill them all!
Fuck. Well, that's one trap triggered.
All right.
Let's go!
Can I get you a ladder so you can get off my back?
Alright, so that's a lot of XP, that's a lot of traps that I actually just lost. So I'm not doing that.
Mullet. All right. Can I get you a ladder so you can get off my back?
Nice. Beautiful. Alright, so you got that. Alright, so let's save. I'm gonna start saving a lot. I'm like seriously gonna save a shit ton. I'm gonna try to get as much of this XP with our rogue, but you have to go like halfway through the entire tutorial just to get to a fucking rogue, which is
Dark spawn!
dog shit, fucking stupid, but whatever.
Got it. Now's better than later. Skill only desperation! Get you a ladder. Alright, alright. Have at ya!
Nice. Dwarven armor, let's see. Okay, that's better than what I got, right? Nice. I'll take it. Alright, so we're looking for traps and we're just going to try to avoid them, right? Alright, hold on a second. So we can backtrack. I want to backtrack and get these traps, at least some of them. Let me just do this. It's right here somewhere, I think. No, not here yet.
You made it, Commander. Did you run afoul of any darkspawn? As you say, onward then.
Alright, let's see. Let's make some tactics. Oh, what do you have? Defense 3? Defense 1.5? Yeah, fuck you. Hold on a second. Go Rim. Go Rim shield is health regen. Combat. I'm not gonna lie, that's actually kind of cool, but all right. I'll let him have his shit. Let me go ahead and save here again. Like I said, I'm going to save a lot. I want to get as many of these traps as possible. So we got to go over here.
Got it.
I'm not afraid of you!
Who be headed? Nice. So there's a trap here. I'm assuming we get XP for this.
No end to these plastic things.
Oh, you trigger the fucking trap anyway.
Can I get you a ladder so you can get off my back? All right, all right. Die already! I'll get on it.
So there's... Well, we triggered one trap. We triggered one trap. I didn't trigger that one. And there's traps over there, too. So we just need to not trigger any other ones. And just get our rogue. Our rogue should be like right here. Yeah, here it is. Complete fucking traitor, but whatever.
Here. I thought the Darkspawn had got you for sure. We want the tunnel ahead, but there are Darkspawn tracks all over it. Be careful. I'm with you.
You're with me. You fucking traitor piece of shit. You worst fucking piece of shit ever. Alright, so actually I think this thing has dagger skills. I'm pretty sure. It's got dagger skills. It doesn't have any range skills at all. So of course it's a fucking traitor. It's just a traitor. It's a fucking traitor. Just get rid of that. Bitch. Fucking bitch, you piece of shit. Just saying. We'll find it another dagger, maybe. Right, so now, I'm gonna go ahead and save and reload. Here's the thing, is it has some trap detection, but it doesn't kick in. When you find this thing, the trap detection doesn't kick in. So you have to actually leave the game. Actually, your character, the trap detection doesn't kick in. Especially if you play a commoner dwarf, it doesn't kick in. You have to you have to reload to discover traps that you can disarm, but if you can't see them, you can't disarm them. Anyway, so watch. Now we should at least be able to see this shit, and should be able to. I'm not saying we will, but we should be able to.
What is my task?
There you go. Watch.
How can I help?
Now, it doesn't show any XP. Now, that would be a trap there, too, but it's not showing any XP. I'm not saying you're not getting any, it's just not showing any.
What is my task?
My grandmother dodges better than that.
Now, Darkspawn Dagger, or... Here's the thing. So, what skills does he actually have? Yeah, we're not gonna worry about that. Let's see. What's the highest damage? That's 6. That's 4. That's 4. So 6, I guess. 6 there. I mean, I guess technically that's... Honestly, I think that breaks even. Really? You know what? Yeah, fuck this dude. Alright, cool. That's a Dark Souls ass shield right there. It's a Dark Souls shield with some like history behind it too. It's like, oh yeah. All right, so I don't think those traps actually gave us anything. They should have. I think maybe you have to be playing a rogue. Although maybe, I mean, let's see, where are we at? I don't know if our gauge moved any. I'm really actually not sure. Nice. Let's see. It's like literally see what happens. There's some traps in here too. Oh my god, seriously? They're not gonna aggro ever? That is like literally not even a game mechanic. That you have to go within 10% of aggro range to get aggro within 100% of aggro range.
Now's better than later. Got it. All right, all right. I'll get on it.
All right, so yeah, the game just broke. All right, so we'll just start over again. That is impossible that actually happened, but it happened. The thing that can't ever happen even once in Infinity just happened like 70,000 times at the same time. It can't happen, but it just happened. Because that's... What time is it? Actually, you know what? I got 30 minutes before I start eating into my sleep time. Maybe I should just call it a day. Like right here, right now. Because that's annoying, and the game has just broke itself on like 763 trillion levels. It just broke itself. It literally just broke itself. Right, so I'll just deal with this tomorrow. That would be the best thing to do. Is literally deal with this tomorrow. Okay, so we'll just get back to this, and nothing wrong with the gameplay. It's just, yeah, the game doesn't work. So we'll get back after it tomorrow, and then we won't have any problem. You'll be like, why was it a problem in the first place? Because the game's fucking doesn't work. It's literally fucking broken. Which is annoying as shit. So, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and get out of here and go try to find something to eat, put something together to eat, and then go get some rest because I got to work today. And then tonight and tomorrow we can stream and see if this actually is worth the fuck. And if it's not, then, well, that's on me, but whatever. Anyway, good night, everybody. I will catch you guys tomorrow. Y'all have a good one.